Welcome back, Maniacs. Here we are. It's been 12 years. I got lost on a desert island, and there was a volleyball and a bloody hand, and I called him Mr. Wimbles. I don't know. I don't have an excuse. I've just been lazy and have been doing YouTube videos. But V2000 is here. It's ready to install. There are a few assumptions that are being made prior to installation. Assumption number one, you have StreamerBot. Sounds silly. Some people don't realize that you need StreamerBot to use a StreamerBot extension, so download it if you don't have it. Assumption 2, on your downloaded copy of StreamerBot, you are signed into a Twitch account. You don't need to have a bot account. It's cool, it's nice, but you do need to be signed into a main Twitch account. Number 3, any other existing Spotify extension, whether it's mine or somebody else's, needs to be deleted. Delete the commands, delete the actions, save StreamerBot, close, and reopen it. And lastly, number 4, you have to have a Spotify premium account for this to work. It's very limited on what you can do via API without a premium account, none of which is really super awesome and or necessary to have this extension if you don't have premium. So, without further ado, sit back, shut up, and follow the clicks. How we're going to do this one is head on over to mustachemaniac.com. From here, we're going to click on StreamerBot extensions. This is a Twitch-only extension. Will not work with YouTube or Trovo or any other streaming service, specifically for Twitch. We're going to go down to V2000 for live streaming. Not to be confused with V1000, because they're different, but the same, but different. Step 1, download it from Ko-Fi. Purple button right here says download from Ko-Fi. The description of this video is going to say download it from Ko-Fi. I'm still going to have 20 people in the comments saying, where is the download link? Download it from Ko-Fi. You download the download link to Ko-Fi. You click on the website to go to Ko-Fi to download it. This extension is downloaded from my Ko-Fi. And y'all are still going to ask, I guarantee it. So, you click the button. You download it from Ko-Fi. The next step is to click on this link, Spotify Developer, and create an account here. I obviously already have an account here. For you, if you don't, create one. Once it's created, up in the top corner where your profile is, you'll click the little drop-down arrow and go to your dashboard. In the dashboard section, you'll see apps. If you don't have any other ones, that's probably normal. For me, I've got several others, so I'm going to click Create App. And you're going to give this app a name. Call it V2000. Description. Control Spotify with SB. Website. Not required, but shameless plug for mustachemaniac.com. You guys were already there. That's where you downloaded it from. Now, this redirect URI is extremely important. If it doesn't match, it doesn't work. Back on my website, in step 2, well, technically below step 2, step 3 has the URI. The description for this video will also have the URI in the description. Copy this verbatim. Don't pass go. Do not collect $200. Copy the URI. Go back to your dashboard in the redirect URI, paste it. 127.0.0.1 1400/Spotify off. Got it? Good. We'll find out later if it doesn't work for you. None of these checkboxes need to be included. They're unnecessary for what we're doing. All you have to do is check that you understand and agree, and then press save. Okay, now we've got our client ID visible here and some other stuff. At this point in time, we're just going to minimize our web browser and head to StreamerBot. Once in StreamerBot, again, confirm, platform, Twitch, account, make sure you are signed in. If you're not signed in, it no worky. Now, once you've confirmed you're signed in, back up at the top here, we've got an import button. Press import. And once you do, you get this pop-up window. This import string area is where you're going to drag the downloaded file that you downloaded from Ko-Fi. Drag it in. It'll think for a sec, and you'll be notified that you've got 26 actions, 1 queue, and 20 commands coming in. At that point, you just come down here and press the import button. It's going to tell you, hey, all this stuff's disabled, so HackerMan doesn't steal your as soon as it goes on, so you press OK. Boom. Once that's in, you now have all of your actions. The next step is to go to the Commands tab. 4th tab over, click on it. Obviously, if this is not a brand new copy of StreamerBot for you, you have all your other commands. So you're looking for the group called Mustache Maniac Spotify V2000. Should be 20 commands in there. Once you find that group, you can either manually enable all these commands or just right-click on the group name, click Group, and enable all. And this will put all 20 commands as enabled, which you can verify by seeing they're all black now instead of bright red. Setup. Now that the import's done, we're going to roll into the setup. To do that, we're going to click Launch V2000 Settings. Just a single click is all you need. And then we're going to move to the trigger section here. There's one trigger, just a test trigger. At a later time, if you want to put a hotkey here or some other command maybe, that'll get you to launch the UI from command or hotkey or Stream Deck button or however you want to do it. For me, just a test trigger works fine because the intent is to set it up and never open the shit again. Press the test trigger. What you do, give it a second, and voila. Here we have our UI. You'll notice that my client ID and my client secret are already filled in because I've previously installed this. But for the sake of the video, we're going to delete them. And now it's going to look like yours. So for step one, we're going to get the client ID, which as we showed you was right here, client ID. Press the little copy icon. That'll put it on your clipboard. Minimize your window again and paste it. If you really want to, you can see what it is, but it's an alphanumeric code and you're not going to memorize and make sure you didn't miss a digit. So the next one we need to grab though is the client secret, which right below the client ID, you'll see a hyperlink for view client secret. I'm kind of hovering over it here. Once you press it, it'll generate a new one. In the event that you, I don't know, make a YouTube video and show your client secret to people, or you accidentally send it away, you can always press this rotate client secret button, which I don't get to press because I'm really special. And I press the back arrow. If you press this rotate client secret button though, this will actually roll a new code for you. So you do this. Yep, rotate it. Okay, look at that. Now we got a new code. Now I'm going to copy that one. Next step is to take the client secret and put it in here. You can right click and paste or Control V, either way. Now we'll press Get Devices. Here it's going to tell you, hey, Spotify's trying to connect to V2000. This is just the app name. That's what I named it in my Spotify app. You watched me do it, V2000. Whatever you named it, it's what's going to show up there. All of these things that it's doing, just keep in mind, these are all local to you. I'm not getting your data. I'm not getting your Spotify account. This is an app that you create, and then you access your data to then control Spotify. But we're going to press Agree, nonetheless. That's going to tell us that our access token has been granted. No further actions required. You may close this browser. Cool story, bro. We closed it. Minimize this out. And now you'll notice in the default devices, you've got devices populated. For myself, Mustache Maniac happens to be the name of the PC that I'm currently on. And then there's everywhere in one of my Echo Dots I got in the bedroom. If you're a 2 PC setup, you need to select the device that has Spotify running on it. So if you stream on PC A, and PC B holds Spotify, then you need to select PC B's name, not PC A. Whichever PC holds Spotify is the one you select here. Once you select that, you can open up settings, and this will give us the option to configure a few things. What's different with V2000 versus V1000, other than the really sweet UI that's not really all that sweet, but whatever, I like it, is you can enable most things via this instead of via command. So, for instance, if you want role restrictions to where only certain people can request songs, turn this on. And the way this reads right now is, with this enabled, only subscribers can request songs. I can do subscribers and followers. Subscribers and followers and VIP. If I turn this off, even though they're all still highlighted, this means anybody can. On, restricted. Off, anybody. On, follower means that followers can request song requests. Obviously, if somebody's a subscriber VIP, they're probably already following you, but maybe not. I mean, if somebody got a gifted sub, they might be a subscriber and a non-follower, so then they couldn't request. I mean, turn it off. Don't care. Max requests per user. This one is a new implementation for V2000, and this is not per stream. This is per queue. So if you enable this song, this tick mark, and then you can adjust how many max requests they get. Like, there we go. We'll go to 3. What this means is if you have 20 songs in your queue, user 1 can only have 3 requests in there. So of the 20, they can make 3. Once you play a couple songs and say you get down to 15 and user 1 makes another request, well, now they're up to 3 again. If they try and make a 4th request before one of their songs plays, it'll say you've got too many requests. So the big thing with this one is just keep in mind it is per queue, not per stream. If you want to restrict it per stream, then you'd probably want to put a restriction on the command itself versus doing it through the UI here. Voting to skip is literally exactly what it sounds like. You can enable voting to skip a song. And what does that mean? It means if your chat doesn't like the song and this is enabled, then this is the minimum number of votes to skip it. With it turned off, it doesn't do anything. With it turned on, and then the number of votes set, if you got it down to 2, if 2 people do exclamation vote skip for the same song, then it skips to the next song. Maximum length for song request. With this enabled, you can obviously set the max length. Keep in mind, if you're going down to like 120 seconds, it's going to be a lot harder to find song requests that fall in there. It defaults to 300, I believe, which is 5 minutes. As long as it's there, if anything comes in over 5 minutes and with this being enabled, it'll say, nah dog, song request too long, try again. It's how to prevent them really fun viewers who like to come in and, I don't know, put hour-long cat mewing videos or whatever. All right, allow spot links for requests. This is just like V1000, but a little bit better handled behind the scenes. So with this, if enabled, you will be able to do exclamation SR or a channel point with a Spotify song link, not playlist, not audiobook, not podcast, not album. It has to be a direct Spotify link, and it'll add it to your queue. Keep in mind, if you have moderation settings in Twitch that do not allow links, this is not going to work. You have to allow links for this to be able to work. And the next one is the same thing. It's for YouTube. Exclamation SR with a YouTube link. If you have links allowed via your Twitch moderation settings, then people can drop songs in from YouTube, and it should do some black magic behind the scenes and say, yo, here's a Spotify song, add it to the queue. The next setting is your chat specific settings. So we've got a master toggle up here, and this will basically turn on or off chat, all of your chat messages for the given sections listed below. Displaying the song names in chat. This is the general, like, this is the song that's playing message. If you're a non-English speaker or you just think that my default message is stupid, you turn this on. You can edit it to be whatever you want. Your message is stupid. And now every time a song plays or somebody does the exclamation song command, you'll get song name by artist name. Your message is stupid. This will be the new default chat message. The requester name, if enabled, will be added to the end of your song name in chat message. So if a new song comes on, it'd be, this is the new song by this is the new artist. Your message is stupid. Parentheses, requested by user. Again, you can edit this however you'd like to, but this is the default value. If there's not a requested user, i.e. your song's just playing through the queue, then this doesn't populate whether this is on or off. It just shows up when necessary. Success message after song request, pretty self-explanatory here. Display song name with link. This is for the song link command. Display the last song. All of these are really self-explanatory beyond that. So once you're done, you can either click the save button up at the top here, which will give you the opportunity to save and close, or you can press the back and apply your changes down here. which I think, there we go. Apply the changes here. If you run into issues, you can always click on the hyperlink here, which will bring you back to the write-up. Other than that, though, obviously you know where to find me on Discord. The thanks button, pretty cool. Pop that open. And I do want to give a special thanks to this month's Ko-Fi supporters. If you want to get your name on the list, you can click Become a Maniac today. That'll be redirected back to my Ko-Fi, where you can be a monthly supporter too. But for real, I would like to thank Jesus Pals, Death Tactics 101, Masingo, GJ Sideshow, N9 Cypher, That Rocket Dad, Nexa Boo, and Fleeginte. Don't really know how to pronounce her name, but thank them. Wicked awesome. Maniacs. A handful of them did some testing early on for V2000 for me, which was really cool. Gave me some good feedback. Like I said, check them out. Check these people out. Become a Maniac today. All the good shit. I don't know. Back on Ko-Fi. That's the moral story. Apply changes. And now we're set up. Once it's set up, you are ready to rock. The one exception is, because we just imported this, we need to start the auto runner that normally would start when StreamerBot starts. In order to do that, just click on Main Controls, go to StreamerBot Started, right-click, and press Test Trigger. Now the auto runner is running and no longer hides in the pending actions. For those of you that used V1000, after it fires, it disappears. You'll see here it's completed and it's doing its thing in the background. A little bit more efficiency in the code between V2000 and V1000. A lot more cool stuff going on. So now if I started to want to dig into some of the controls and couldn't remember what me commands were, we could do something like this. Exclamation mark, Spotify commands. And this is going to list all of the available Spotify commands for that user. Now keep in mind, this is role-based. So your mods will have different commands available than your general users. You as the broadcaster, obviously you're going to have all of them. Any of the commands that are listed with a slash, these are aliases. So for previous song, you can use exclamation prev, previous, spot prev, and all three of them do the same thing. That being said, we can go over a little light demonstration. So with exclamation mark play, we should see the song start to play. And there we go. We see the track bar moving. But you can't see the thing because I'm really special. Let's move some things around here so it's easier for you to see. Here. There we go. Alright, now we got stuff. Now we're going to pause it. Alright, it is paused. We're going to skip it. Go to the next song. Get a darkness. You do notice that there's two chat messages going on right now, and that's because I personally have two StreamerBots open. While I'm recording this video for your viewing pleasure, so don't come at me about double posting. You will notice that our custom message is in here. Kid of Darkness by Sonic Veil. Your message is stupid. I said it, chat, so it's got to be true. The other big thing for StreamerBot V2000 is it comes with a pretty freaking cool overlay. And in order to get that, all you have to do is scroll down further on the website, and you'll see a little template builder. I got all of the commands that are available, as well as their modifiers and aliases are still on the website. Down here, you'll notice all the way at the bottom, this is what the overlay looks like. If you need to adjust any settings, like your port and your address or your password for StreamerBot WebSocket settings need to be adjusted, you can adjust them here, and then it'll populate a new URL, and you just copy the whole URL. If you want to do something like change from this default look that I've got going here to maybe a different font, we'll just pick around with Oxygen. Sure, that sounds like a cool font. And you want to change the color, instead of being white, I don't know, maybe we want red font. We do these couple of things. The auto hide, it's 1 to 60 seconds. With this specifically, What that does is when a new song plays, it'll pop the overlay up, and then if you have this enabled, it'll hide it after that many seconds. If you want to do auto hide of like 10, then after 10 seconds of a new song, the overlay is going to disappear. When another new song comes in, it'll pop up, show off for 10 seconds, and then disappear. The overall opacity, self-explanatory. This is for the overlay itself. If you want it to be a little bit more opaque, the preview of it looks a little off as you adjust it, and that is only because the iframe that it's built in has a white background that I can't get rid of. So the opacity is going to look kind of crazy here when we go to do this, but it looks better than this in real life. It's just the opacity against that white background. It doesn't really do good for previewing. Here's the changes that we made. This is the oxygen font, and this is the red font color. Obviously the progress bar, we left it white, but there is an option to change that too if you're feeling, I don't know, maybe you're feeling a little Christmassy. I'm going to do some red and green. Update the URL again. And now you'll see down here, there's our progress bar in green, all of our fonts are in red. If you want to see it in action with the website up before you put it in OBS, you can literally just skip your Spotify song and see the next song. So this is currently what's playing on my Spotify player in real life. Pretty snazzy. Now once you get this set up to exactly how you'd like it, all you need to do is copy the URL here and then add a browser source into OBS. So if you go into your OBS, go ahead and pop mine open real quick. You'll create a new browser source, add this URL, and then you got your now playing overlay. So down in the bottom left, I'm going to add a source. I'm going to call it now playing card. Again, the name is irrelevant. Actually, I'm making a scene first. And then within that scene, I'm going to add a browser source. So now playing card is my scene. And my source is going to be a browser source. Browser source, you can name it whatever you want to. I don't care. Spotify card sounds really cool. Got it. Press OK. For the URL, we're going to paste the URL that we copied from the URL builder, so mustachemaniac.com/widget/nowplayingcard. If you change colors and stuff, then there's going to be some extra parameters on the end of here, which is why you want to build it on the site and then copy it over. This is just for the default. For width and height, I'm going to go 1920 by 1080, just so that it takes up the right size container, and then you can trim the browser source here, no problem. Press OK. And there we have our fake browser, or our fake album cover for a new browser source. Once it's in here, now you can trim it and move it around wherever the heck you want to. You get a new song, and it's going to pop up. Then you can take this scene, let me move it over here where you can actually see it. Take the now playing scene and put this on any of your scenes that you would like the now playing overlay to appear on, and that way it's nested and it's pretty and everyone's happy, and now they know what cool song you're listening to. So, get away from that for a second. There's one other thing that I introduced with V2000. I'm not going to bore you by going through all of the commands, but there are new events, essentially. What these events are is they're custom triggers that occur based on different things that happen. So if you want to build your own overlay, or if you want to do something when a new song plays, then you'll use this event action. In the import, I included all 5 of the new events, and then you'll see the sub actions. Just an example, you can change your Stream Deck button to match the album image, send a chat message on a new song, whatever you want to do. These are disabled. All they are is placeholders that you have the actions associated with the events. If you want to do something cool when a song request is added, like, I don't know, freaking splat on the screen or increase a counter so you can keep track of all how many song requests you've got, you can do that. Same thing with Spotify player paused or resumed. Whether you want to do maybe enable or disable some audio ducking if Spotify is playing. anything that you can really think of outside of like a general user, so gets more specific to your use case, then that's what these actions are for. And the last one is the vote to skip past. So once a song is voted to skip, if you want to do some sort of animation or anything like that, then by all means, you're free to do so. The thing with these 5 events is every time one of them fires, not only do they show up in your action history here, all of these song arguments are available. So when a new song comes on, you get things like the song name, the artist name, the release year, album name, album image, song, blah, 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 blah. All of this populates on all those events. So again, overlays, counters, whatever you can think of, these are what are available to you anytime one of the events go off. Lots of stuff, lots of change, lots of new, hopefully slightly improved. I will say the other addition that I didn't have previously, and we'll wrap this up, is the wrong song command. For anybody that used V1000, you'll know that on occasion, you would type in a pretty specific artist and song combination, and Spotify says, you actually meant this one. Behind the scenes, I did a lot better job with how I'm matching the song request, so that in itself handles a good majority and alleviates a lot of this problem. But I did find a time or two where it still was sending the wrong song, so I implemented a way where you can tag it as being incorrect. Currently, the command is just wrong song, and what that'll do is the broadcaster and or moderators, if a song request is put in and someone goes into chat and say, oh man, that was the wrong one, I didn't mean to add that one, use ! wrong song, and it'll tag that song, and it'll tag it as being wrong. Once that song comes up in the queue, then it'll automatically skip it and then remove it. So there's no other further action, just wrong song. You can tie that to a stream deck button or an HTML deck, and that way if someone says it's wrong, you just smash the button, and it'll tag it back in the variable, and when it comes up, it'll just skip, and you might see a flash of it show up on the overlay. You may not even, because it'll happen so quickly. And let me make sure I've covered all the other new stuff. This video, adding songs to playlists, is still a thing. Actually smoothed that up a little bit too behind the scenes. So I know there's quite a few that do use playlists, and if you hit any brick walls, let me know. I very rarely use Spotify playlists, so everything else on here is literally self-explanatory. If you have further questions, they're all outlined on mustachemaniac.com. With that being said, thank you all for wasting however many minutes I've been recording. I don't know. Looks like 28 minutes, almost a half hour of your day. You can rewatch it again and get a full hour out of it. Thank you, though. I really hope that you're enjoying it. I've got like 7 or 8 other extensions that are pretty much ready for release right now that I haven't done write-ups or videos or anything for. The quickest way to get some of this stuff before my lazy makes a video is to be a Ko-Fi member. They get earlier releases. They also get to get stuff that's not released and is help test it, we'll say. It's just not built like it just needs improvement. They help me out testing. Overall, though, for those of you that are unaware, one other really big announcement, if you haven't seen it before, is that StreamerBot 1.0 is live, currently in the alpha phase still, but golly, this schmexy. Dark mode, different tabs. Spotify V2000 does work in alpha. That's what I've been running with. So, thank you all again. Until next time, I'll catch you later, you maniacs.